Let me set the scene for you. You're at your friend Samantha's daughter's birthday party. You're an upper to middle class woman with a day drinking habit that some would describe as borderline problematic. But how else are you meant to cope when coronavirus means that the nanny only works 1 day a week and you've had a whole year of homeschooling? You sip your wine while the children complain about the lack of organic hummus on the buffet. Well, we've all had to make cutbacks lately, right? There's only one thing that can save this party, and Samantha knows it. The cake! Samantha carries out a platter on which sits Colin the caterpillar, that good old reliable M&S cake, made of the finest chocolate sponge, filled with buttercream and coated in a layer of needlessly thick chocolate, decorated with Smarties and finished with a white chocolate face that you know the kids will fight over later. 3 candles are awkwardly wedged into his spine. Samantha's daughter's older than 3, but you do slowly lose the will to live when trying to put candles onto a chocolate caterpillar. The children sing happy birthday. The cake is cut. But when you bite into the cake, you realise something isn't quite right. This doesn't taste like M&S quality chocolate. Could this be Cuthbert, the Aldi equivalent that looks and tastes the same but comes from a budget supermarket, so is clearly inferior? You grab your child's hand and drag them away. Put down that Aldi cake now. We are leaving, Felicity. Next thing we know, it will turn out those prawn skewers are from Iceland, and I'm not waiting around for that revelation. You spend the rest of the evening brushing your teeth to get rid of that budget supermarket taste. Hi, I'm Madame Yafai, and today I'm telling you about Colin versus Cuthbert, court case of the century, or a stroke of marketing genius. On April the 15th, 2021, the internet was shooketh by the news. Number one supermarket of choice of the elderly and well-to-do, M&S had launched legal action against budget supermarket Aldi over their birthday caterpillar cake Cuthbert that bears a striking similarity to M&S's Colin, and apparently Cuthbert infringed on no less than 3 of M&S's existing copyrights. To understand fully the nation's love of Colin, we need to go back to 1990, when he was launched to great success, partially due to the popularity of the much-loved children's book, The Very Hungry Caterpillar. Surprisingly, Colin remained steadily popular over the 90s, but it was in the early noughties when Colin found success. 2006 saw the launch of the show Ace of Cakes and cemented our love as a society with novelty cakes that one person couldn't possibly hope to consume on their own without risking diabetes. Around 2011, other supermarkets realised there was money to be made from cakes shaped like caterpillars, and Sainsbury's launched their own version, Wiggles. This was followed by Asda launching a Bonnie and Clyde caterpillar duo, followed by a free-from version named Frida in 2018, though only Clyde and Frida are still in production. In 2015, Waitrose launched Cecil, and soon every supermarket had their own version of Colin. M&S didn't seem to care about these cheap imitations. That is, until Cuthbert was launched, though interestingly, this case comes 2 months after Cuthbert was sold, and he is currently unavailable to buy from Aldi, well, unless the charity version comes out before I post this video, but a bit more on that later. M&S are accusing Aldi of attempting to pass off their cake, which sells for £5, as a product that consumers may believe to be comparable in quality to that of Colin, which is much more expensive, retailing at £7. And I mean, have you heard of such a thing? A budget supermarket producing a product of any sort of quality? What next? Fabergé eggs in the middle aisle of Lidl? And this, dear viewers, is where we get to the point in the tale where I tell you how and why I feel this whole story is a brand/marketing team at M&S's stroke of genius. See, as mentioned, other supermarkets have for years sold their own versions of Colin, but this has never been an issue for M&S. Okay, they don't look nearly as much like Colin as Cuthbert does, but essentially all are chocolate-covered Swiss rolls of a face, adorned with Smarties, and all are equally dry and make you want a glass of water as soon as you consume them. So why Cuthbert? Well, in England, we have just begun easing out of our national lockdown that saw only essential retailers remain open. Now, this did include food outlets, so certain M&S food halls could have stayed open, but the company, for the first time in its 94-year history, recorded a loss of around £84 million, potentially because even though they could continue to sell clothes and homeware items online, M&S's key little old lady demographic don't tend to be shopping online. So, of course, they need to tempt people back into their stores. It's a better way than some amazing social media marketing. And what brand had been doing well out of the pandemic due to them being a supermarket and has 1. Shown a sense of humour on Twitter, 2. Has successfully used effective brand marketing to push a product, and 3. Sells a product or has sold a product that could be sold at M&S. Someone in marketing at M&S was obviously an avid Twitter user and was aware of the Brewdog/Aldi Twitter spat of October 2020, which saw Aldi pushing their take on Brewdog's Punk IPA, the anti-establishment IPA, which did have remarkably Brewdog-esque packaging. James at Brewdog hit back with their latest product, the Yaldi IPA. This eventually resulted in Aldi and Brewdog coming to a deal. They would sell a new IPA called Albert IPA, and for every case sold as part of a collaboration, Aldi would plant a tree in the Brewdog forest. That's not a euphemism, they legitimately have a forest. Though I have never actually seen a can of Aldi IPA. Maybe I was too slow to buy them, I don't know. So M&S announces this court case and Twitter goes wild. Memes left, right and centre. Aldi's brand team are getting involved. They create a mock-up image of Cuthbert in court giving testimony and a new box design complete with jail bars. M&S also get in on the memes, as well as anyone with a copy of Photoshop, and searches for both Colin and Cuthbert cakes skyrocket on Google. I do wonder if M&S had hoped to create some sort of caterpillar cake collab with Aldi, or just wanted to have some fun making some memes. Anyway, as of April the 20th, in spite of it being unknown if Aldi had ever actually had plans to bring Cuthbert back, based on the social media success, Aldi announced they would indeed bring back Cuthbert, but this time to raise money for cancer research charities. They encouraged other supermarkets to do the same, and of course M&S couldn't sue a company over a cake that sale was being used to raise money for charity, could they? I mean, as a supermarket for the upper classes who love a good tax write-off, and donating to charity being one of the biggest tax write-offs there is, what could they do? M&S hit back, but chose to suggest perhaps Aldi should use one of their own much-loved characters, Kevin the Carrot, who has become synonymous with Christmas time in the UK, because what's more festive than an anthropomorphic carrot being lured to its death at the dinner table? It does make you wonder if we'll see perhaps a Keith the Carrot from M&S this year, but for now the case remains unsolved, and it's yet to be seen if this case will ever make it to court. But for the next week at least, M&S and Aldi can both enjoy the uptick caused by #FreeCuthbert. I hope you've enjoyed me doing something a little different today. I hope I've educated and informed you, and if you are a non-UK viewer who has no idea what the hell I'm on about, I can only apologise. Good night, and as always, don't have nightmares.